Cor van Haze Lord Hayes, Goth von Cor. I did not write this, but the attitude is all my own. And rest assured, if there were no majesty behind these words, no one would have ever heard this story. This is GRYPHAXIS, Before the Womb Clock, Part 3, The Lamentarium. Rint Malova walks alone down corridors that have never existed before. Each step presses against floors that sigh like lungs in slow revolt, and the walls, fleshy and glimmering, pulse beneath his palms. The ship hums under his feet, a low vibration threaded with the laughter, sorrow, and fury of countless beings it has carried across time. It stirs tonight, murmurs Fela Aum, her voice not from beside him, but through the walls, vibrating his chest. Tuld runs ahead, barefoot, trailing light across the panels. His humming is backward and forwards at once, and the ship bends its corridors around him as though it were listening to a tune it forgot how to compose. Rint reaches out, but his fingers pass through him. The child is both there and already somewhere else, straddling dimensions, untethered. The GRYPHAXIS groans, a low, thick voice emerging from the ventral plates. Too much sorrow, too much love, tangled in my veins, must breathe. The ship trembles, and the corridors shift violently. Rint grasps the walls, feeling the membranes stretch and contract like skin over a bone that remembers every touch it has ever known. Light flows along the veins of the hull, filaments pricking the mind with warmth and unease. "Captain," Fela says, now manifesting as a dozen overlapping forms. Her face is like waves of mercury, eyes closed in serenity. We descend into the Lamentarium. It has waited for us, long before Tuld sang himself into being. The hallway unfolds into a vast chamber, an amphitheater of living memory. Spires of translucent tissue rise from the floor, branching like arteries and veins, each humming with a chord of emotion. Some vibrate with joy, some quiver in despair. Rint feels them pressing against his mind, replaying love, grief, fear, hope, each memory alien, yet achingly familiar. Tuld runs between the spires, tracing them with his fingers. The filaments of light respond, wrapping themselves around his arms, lifting him slightly off the floor, turning him into a floating knot of brightness. He giggles, and the chamber shudders with a sound that is almost laughter, almost groan. "Do not fear the tremor," Fela whispers. "It is the ship breathing itself through you, through us, through everything. Rint touches a spire. It ripples, a wave of sensation passing from it into him. Warmth, blood, memory. His stomach clenches at the intimacy, at the uncontainable awareness of being inside a living archive. The GRYPHAXIS murmurs again. It is all too much. Too much. Must sort. Must heal. The voice vibrates through every panel, every cable. It is at once the vessel and not, older than Rint can measure, yet impatient, trembling with its own weight of centuries. Fela steps closer to him, her forms overlapping like petals folding over a wound. Rint, some of these spires must be pruned, others must be coaxed to bloom. You will do what you can. I will guide you. Tuld will participate in his own way. The captain nods, swallowing the rising nausea that comes from understanding that this pruning is not metaphor. His hands reach for a spire that quivers violently. The moment he touches it, a wave of emotion pours into him. Longing, fear, memory, hope. So dense he stumbles. Tuld floats by, trailing golden filaments from his hair, weaving them into the spires, singing nonsense tunes that rearrange the vibrations into patterns of relief. The filaments coil around the vessels of light, tugging, releasing, spinning them into strange harmony. Rint watches in awe. The child's innocence is a blade cutting through the thick hum of the chamber. Do you feel it? Fela asks. The ship is teaching you to forgive its mistakes. A spire ruptures softly, and liquid light spills over Rint's hands. It tastes of stars and rain, of childhood laughter long forgotten. He trembles. I don't know if I can. You can, Fela says. You must. It will not bleed forever, but it will remember what you allow it to remember. The GRYPHAXIS hums louder, its voice rising to a roar that is almost comforting. Too much, too many, all tangled. Help, help. Tuld giggles, looping a filament into a knot and tossing it into the highest spire. The spire flares, a bloom of light and sound, and the chamber tilts again, flips upside down, yet the captain is not falling. The floor has become walls, the ceiling, an abyss of luminous nerves. Rint's stomach lurches, a mixture of awe and vertigo. It's learning, Fela says, calm as a river under storm clouds. It is learning to feel what it carries without drowning in it. Spirals of light sweep through the chamber, brushing against Rent's skin like feathers, pricking him with gentle, ineffable pleasure and unease. He reaches for one, and it coils around his wrist, tugging him toward a cluster of spires vibrating in sorrow. Do not fight it, Fela says. Be part of the pulse. Rent closes his eyes. The chamber hums. The filaments, the spires, Tuld's floating braid of light, all synchronize into a trembling chord. It is nearly unbearable. Ecstasy and terror tangled together. His mind reels, upside down, backward, forward, through time and memory. Then the ship shudders, a massive exhalation vibrating through every surface, and in that instant, all is quiet. The trembling fades into soft, undulating light, the spires resting, Tuld settling on a platform of glowing root, Fela's many faces folding into one serene body. Rent opens his eyes. It is done, he whispers. For now, Fela says, the Lamentarium rests, but it will awaken again, and so will we. The GRYPHAXIS murmurs, almost tenderly, thank you for teaching me how to bear it again. The light hum beneath the chamber is faint, almost a heartbeat, pricking at the soft emotions buried in Rent's chest. All love, fear, tenderness, grief. Tuld laughs, a pure, impossible note that echoes off the living walls. And Rent finally allows himself to smile. They are not healed. They are not safe. But the ship, in its vast, trembling, grotesquely beautiful body, has learned to sigh. And in its sigh, they feel the subtle warmth of infinite care. The chamber grows still. The spires glimmer faintly. Light pricks the edges of vision like prayer. And the three of them, captain, child, and woman of 13 faces, rest together in a silence that vibrates with everything they cannot yet name. Nothing is changed. Everything has changed.